This is Bubba. And I just want everybody to see his face. That's all. I just want the entire world to look at his face and understand that he was alive. He was a real boy. He was a real person. No matter how many fundraisers Adonis Paul holds to urinate on his grave, this man Adonis Paul has earned thousands of dollars raising money to urinate on this boy's grave. The face that you're staring at right now, he died in 2009. He died in 2009 and he was buried for a decade without even having a headstone because his family was poor and we could not afford headstones and things like that. Adonis Paul thinks it's funny that since he can afford to send people to Florida to desecrate his grave, he thinks it's funny to do that. He held 2 fundraisers last night dedicated to raising money to desecrating my brother's grave. I don't know how much he raised because I won't watch the videos. I refuse to watch a fundraiser for my brother's grave desecration. I refuse to listen to what they're going to say about my beautiful, innocent, broken brother. It's not the first time they've held this fundraiser, and they will do it over and over again because he makes thousands of dollars attacking disabled people like my brother. Look at the wheelchair he's in. Look how much bigger his wheelchair is than he is. And they're in my comments and they keep saying he's 8 years old in that photo. Why don't you show a picture of him? He's older. He's 8. He's 8. He's 8. Little Ronnie is 16 in this photo. That is the face of a 16-year-old boy with cerebral palsy. He did not age like everybody else did. He looked very young. He was 16 in this picture. He would die when he was 23. He died at 23 years old in a nursing home because they're telling people I killed him. They're telling people he died because I abandoned him to his abusive parents by running away when I turned 18, by saving myself. I killed him because I saved myself at 18 years old by moving out of an abusive home. My brother was taken away from our mother because she was neglectful and an alcoholic drunk. She would leave him in bed all day so that she could tell people that she only drank when he was in bed. The state finally took him, and they put him in a nursing home, and he died in that nursing home. So whenever they tell you that I murdered him or that I left him to die, they're leaving out the fact that he was in a medical facility at the time of his death. Same as my grandmother. They'll tell you that I killed my grandmother. She was in a medical facility at the time of her death. Little Ronnie was under the care of doctors, but he was sick and broken from birth, and he wasn't meant to live a long life. He was born handicapped by his own father. His father did this to him before he was even born. He beat my mother when she was pregnant with him. He said it was going to be another goddamn girl, and he wasn't going to have it. And he knocked her to the floor, and he sat on her stomach, and he choked her. And this was the result. His only son. His life was so hard. He had to watch his father kill himself. And now he's being used by Adonis Paul just for profit. Adonis Paul holds fundraisers and drags my brother's innocence into the mud for a couple of bucks to get himself whatever drugs he needs to get through his day. When does anybody care enough to speak the truth and speak out for Bubba? When does anybody care enough for him? When does he matter? When is it going to be his time to be loved? Can't he even have love now after so many years? Can't he even have some sort of respect? The only reason he can't is because there's a man named Adonis Paul who holds fundraisers literally every other month. He held 2 this month. 2. He held one 13 days ago that I didn't know about, and then he held another one last night to make sure that I knew about it. That's 2 fundraisers to desecrate this little boy's grave within January. I just want people to look at him. I just want them to look at him. Just really look at him. Look at the soul that you're using for your profit now. Look at the face of innocence that you have taken and desecrated. You actually sent somebody to this boy's grave with a bottle of apple juice. My aunt. For those who say nobody visited the grave, yes, my aunt visited the grave last year and made a video letting people know she was there for Adonis Paul to fulfill his fundraiser of urinating on Bubba's grave that he held 2 years ago, because he's been doing this for years. He regularly attacks my innocent dead brother so that people will send him money. There are 10,000 people here on YouTube willing to pay a man to attack somebody as innocent and helpless as my brother. And there's nothing I can do but force you to look at it. So look at him. Just look at him and tell yourselves that what you're doing is right. And he deserves it. He can't fight back. He can't do anything. So he must deserve to be used and abused and neglected for all eternity. He must deserve to never be loved, to never feel cared about, to never feel respected. He deserves random people visiting his grave to have a piss, right, Adonis Paul? That's what my little brother deserves. For his horrible crime of being born disabled and angering the great Adonis Paul with his disability, with his imperfection. God, I miss him. I miss seeing his face. I miss hearing his voice. Just look at him. Just look at him. Just look at him and ask yourself how happy you really are with what you've done, how proud you are of the money you sent to desecrate this boy's grave, of the things that you said. Just look at him. I don't care what Adonis Paul has said about him. This is who he was, and he could never have done anything to anybody.